Hi, there's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Network, iTube 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, Comcast, and all the platforms around the world. So this is another special show today. Not only do we have Justin Root on, we have Sunny, one of the original Glow Girls coming on. She'll pop on. She's driving. She went shopping. So she had to get her shopping in. So while we're waiting for her, take it away. Tell us who you are and where you came from.
Hi, well, I'm Justin Root, and my connection today for you and Sunny is I played David Mclane in AfterGlow, the musical, which was here in Hollywood. Oh my gosh, it's already been a year and a half, I think, October of the last year. So that's how I came on board with my friendship with Sunny and Roxy and Matilda the Hun, and we also had Dallas. She was in it. So yeah, I had the honor of playing David Mclane, who was, of course, for those who don't know, the announcer, the one who put Glow together, and such a blast, such an absolute blast.
How did that come about? Because that's an important role.
It is, you know, I believe, and I think I blocked this out because no actor wants to hear this ever, but I believe somebody else was cast and dropped out. And Chris Carver, our wonderful director, I had known him from a project prior. He reached out to me and he said, I'm doing this play and I need someone to play David Mclane. And I am not kidding when I tell you I was the biggest fan of Glow. And there she is. Just on cue. I think
Hi.
Hi
there.
I'm here and and the sun is like, oh gosh, this is terrible. Well, anyway, I'm in my car. Hi, everyone.
She looks like a superstar out of the 50s, doesn't she? With her
you look beautiful no matter where you are.
Thank you, guys. I'm so glad I got here. I've got to pull over. It's so weird. I'm at my neighbors using their internet.
Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you get on, right?
That's right. That's right. So
Justin was just telling us how he got the role as the announcer.
Yes. And you know what? He was perfect. Not only the looks, well, actually, I think he's better looking myself. No, David Mclane, we love you, but he killed it. He was the best David Mclane ever.
Well, that is a nice thing. I dyed my hair black for it too. And that was, you know, had to look like him, right? But no,
yes.
I had an absolute blast. I had an absolute blast. But I was saying, Sunny, right before you popped in, that I flipped out when Chris called me because I am a huge fan of Glow. So it was just mind blowing. He said, I have this part. It's David Mclane, Glow. And he said it was a musical. And I said, I don't sing, I don't dance. He said, no, don't worry. It's going to be set to music. And I was like, okay, as long as there's no singing and no dancing, I can pull this off. And it was just an honor to even be cast amongst you ladies. So I had the absolute best time. I'm not kidding.
So that's awesome.
Hey, Sunny, tell the audience who you are, where you came from, and why we're relevant. I know why you're relevant, but tell them why you're relevant.
Well, I'm one of the original Glow girls, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and I'm Sunny, the California girl. And true to the name, I am definitely Sunny and definitely right now in the sun. So as you can see, I'm very genuine. But yeah, from California, I was the fun and sun girl, really blonde, dingy. And, you know, hey, I still have my blonde moments. But yeah, so I'm one of the originals from 3rd season and 4th season. And I played myself, of course, in the play, the AfterGlow. My story, the show, and which was my father who passed away at the end. And I had to leave abruptly to go be with him while he was, you know, I was hoping he still wasn't going to die, of course, as we want our parents to always be around forever. But it was the longest 5 days ever. Yeah. So I told that story, right, Justin? Oh, there we go. Can you see me? Okay.
Well, the other thing is, you also went on to do a lot of stuff. So I still consider you, a radio talk show host. Talk about that
Yes.
things too, because a lot of people don't always know when they go on. They go on to another career, but it's not like they left it in the past.
Right, right. I've been a political talk show host for 9 years with American Adversaries Talk Radio. So Megan Kelly is my mentor. Um, it's a long story there. I was getting rocks thrown at me because I was a member, or I am, I should say, still, that's funny, of Hollywood. I appreciate Hollywood. I appreciate my background and everything. But when I went on the show, they shunned me because I was more of on the fence of what side do I pick? Where do I go? I was just a lost soul because I love everybody and everything. So for me to change my upbringing a little bit and accept the fact that these guys are all Republican, I had to go in there and go, okay, oh boy, this is going to be tough because I wasn't raised Republican by any means. So I had a challenge ahead, guys. And really, I was raised Democratic from somewhat very conservative background. So I flipped, not because of them, but because I seen other things that was happening. And I know, Justin, I know you love Biden. I know that. And I love you for it. I love everybody who has their choices and their opinions. And hey, I voted for Obama. So, who am I to say? Yeah, I truly got bashed for it though, but I got accepted and I've been there 9 years. I talk about the news here in Los Angeles, California, Northern California, any parts of California. I try to cover everything, not just political views, but other news, celebrity news, the current events, everything. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. So I also have my own talk show called The Brighter Side with Sunny Show, which is on CRN network. You may know my corn, Brian. Have
Uh-huh.
you heard of my corn? Yes.
Yeah.
So I love it in there. That's pretty cool too. Yeah.
See, and that's a good thing because we're all in a different world of what we're doing. Um,
Right.
you could take what started in the 80s and the 90s and monopolize on that. However, you still have that fan base. I like Megan Kelly. I've always been a fan of her. I love the movie Bombshell also. But it's one of those things. I had the same things, and I never bring up my Black Lives Matters or anything like that because, and I'm around all Republicans. When I have 4 million views a day out of Franklin, Tennessee. Guess who's there?
Wow.
Adams. Jimmy Adams is
Yeah.
one of the few Black Republicans
Turn this way.
with Don King. So you can imagine what that's like. So, and I'm the lone Democrat.
Absolutely.
I understand what you probably have gone through. But the thing is,
Yes.
you have to learn how to get along with everybody because it's a world of entertainment. It's about entertaining, but still, there's that delicate balance of everything, and it still can work out. And that's what we
Exactly. Right. And it does. And I have many friends from different facets of life. And I think that's the greatest thing because I love their differences. I love their views. I love their opinions. And I never bash anybody for what they believe in because that's the way it should be. I'm the fun and sun girl. So for me, I want everyone to be happy and smile and no judgment zone all the way. So yeah.
Well,
And if
then
they
I'm
don't
not going to
like
judge
it,
you on your TikTok videos then either.
I know, got a few.
Justin, have you seen her TikTok videos?
Oh, I didn't even know you were on TikTok. Why are you holding back,
I
Sonny?
know. I'm a
didn't know.
newbie. My
Okay.
daughter pushed me to do it. So we have a couple. Roxy laughs. She loves them. I'm like, oh gosh.
It's actually funny. I mean, I think that's a good thing. You can actually be funny and incorporate a lot of new things like that. Justin, when you were cast as the announcer, and I know you did a good job, when you found out that everybody was nominated for that, what was that like for you?
I honestly, this is going to sound like such BS, but I was so happy for the Glow girls. I was truly happy because they poured, look, it was very easy for me. I had already known David from watching Glow. I just watched a couple more clips. It was very easy to pick up his voice, his cadence. But these women, necessarily didn't have a theatrical background. I mean, they've acted, of course, but to actually be on a play, on a stage in Los Angeles, a couple of them I know it was their first time. And I mean, they just really put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Literally, some of them got hurt. I don't think Sonny, I don't think you got hurt, but I know a couple of them, you know, because there was like,
funny. I mean,
there was, it's one thing you have to keep in mind. These women used to wrestle for television. And although there's a performance element to that, it's a completely different ballgame when you have to do it on stage. So we had a wrestling ring that was a quarter of the size of what they were used to. And they had to learn to pull, you know, rein it in. And I mean, there was just a lot that went into it. And they did such a good job. You know, they had younger actresses playing them as the wrestlers. So there was that element on top of it too.
And he really did a great job.
Character,
yeah. So it was a 4x4 ring, a 4x4,
Wow.
I believe, right? Yeah, it was very tiny.
It was tiny.
Very tiny.
Yeah, and you know, each lady had two people playing them. So there was Sunny as the flashbacks when she was actually wrestling, and then there was Patricia playing Sunny now, telling the story. And each one of them looked and acted like the younger version of themselves. It was like, I was like, are you guys like practicing at home 24 hours? Because you guys nailed it. It was just so good.
Patricia, I've always telling people, because I see a lot of your stuff pop up on Facebook or whatever, and you've always had one of the most warmest smiles that I've ever seen. I always like that, and you don't take yourself too serious. And I think that's why fans liked your character, but also you.
Yes, thank you. Well, probably because I came out with those silly knock-knock jokes. I mean, who sings knock-knock jokes, right? I don't know. I still look back and I still sing them once in a while. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I do that? But because I was a lounge singer, that was my aspiration career, if you will. Before I ever thought about modeling, when I was younger, I wanted to sing. So Matt Simber incorporated my singing ability into the knock-knock jokes. He's like, okay, Sonny, you're going to go in the ring and you're going to sing these silly knock-knock jokes to your opponent. And I'm like, really? You're kidding, right? And he goes, no, I'm not. And so sure enough, that's what I did. And it was fun. I mean, it was great with the character. And even on the stage with the Broadway, well, I call it Broadway musical, because now we're up for nominations with Broadway World, and that's amazing. So, you know, for us to do that, and the girls sang, we sang, Justin sang, we all did this amazing incorporation, I should say, of the rap, where the girl would come in, our younger character, and then we would join in with the rap on stage in perfect sync. So I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Our raps, the song, our AfterGlow, you know, Glow song, original Glow song we sang. And I think the best moments is when Mary Kennedy and Sheena was singing, you know, as their characters on stage as well. It was amazing. So, you know, this is pretty cool to be up for 7 nominations. That's all I can say. I'm really honored. From what I understand, we're up there. I don't know if we're yet in first place, but we're right behind Hamilton or right with Hamilton. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, and that's a major thing. And I tell people, it's weird because Movie Reviews and More, we finished 17th out of the top 50 global radio web series and stuff around the world, and I didn't even submit a show. And I was like, well, where did this come from? And I said, you know, when Roxy, you know, called me and told me about that, I'm like, you know what? You just take it and you just go with it. Because the guy who finished #1, Jimmy Starr, who's a friend of ours, he has 5.5 million views a week. Well, we've got 6.5 million a day. That told me something right there. I'm like, I'll take that then. Because imagine if I had submitted a show, we would have ended up maybe first, definitely in the top 10. So I don't know who watched it. I don't know who voted. But again, you just take it and you run with it. Right, Justin? Because you said you couldn't sing. And what did you do? End up singing, right?
I Yeah, I rapped. I pulled it off.
Hey, here's the thing.
You were fantastic.
I'm black and I can't rap to save my life. So that's
I
up
didn't
to
think I
you.
could. Apparently, I'm great at rapping. So my album drops next month, actually. So look for it.
So
whatever you do, you're great at. And I love your nostalgia and going back in time in Hollywood and showing. I mean, I'm right there watching everything. So you not only that, you have a great show, Justin,
Well,
because
thank
we all
you.
did
And
your show.
you
We had
did.
a great time on your show. We had a lot of laughs.
I had Sunny, MTV, and Roxy on my show, the Justin Root Show on YouTube. Look for the pink sofa. I had a blast having you guys on. You're all so much fun, and I love your camaraderie with each other. It's not for anyone who is a Glow fan who wonders, like, do these ladies really get along? Do they really have as much fun as they seem to? The answer is yes, they do. This cast. I'm not talking about some of the other.
Yeah, I was going to say yes, we all do. There's some of us that don't, mix well with the others, the good and bad, really good and bad.
Yeah, but this cast, there was absolutely no drama, no BS. They were just absolutely wonderful, and we all really had fun. I mean, there was a moment where I remember thinking, I can't believe like I get to do this. Like it's a job right now, but it's something I love. Like even when you think you're not going to get the lines down, or you're going to maybe forget your cue, or what, all the drama that goes along with being in a play. But every single day I kept pinching myself, like, I can't believe I get to do this. Like, this is so fun. And it's just great. And I love that their story got to be told. I know that there's a Netflix show that kind of, brought Glow back into it. But at the end of the day, those are written roles. And this play was about real stories, real people, real women, real journeys. And I think that to me was the cherry on top.
All right, Sunny, tell people where they can go and vote.
Yeah. You're going to go to BroadwayWorld.com. And what you're going to do, most importantly, once you go there, the links are on our pages. You're going to go in and it's going to tell you, put your email in. So don't be afraid to not put your email there. Put your email in, scroll down, hit continue. It'll take you to another page. And what you look for is the AfterGlow musical 80s ensemble. And from there on, you vote for the individuals. Mary for Best Actress, Christopher Carver, the Best Director. He's awesome, by the way. And I want to say hats off to Christopher Carver for being the Best Director, to guiding all of us with, really little to no experience on stage. He pulled it off. He was amazing. It was great to finally, I guess, meet him officially. I was the one running after him with Roxy when we went to go see Psycho in Long Beach, his first play. And Roxy goes, Sonny, go get him. And I'm like, okay, I went and pulled him off. He was backstage and I pulled him out and I said, listen, I go, I'm a Glow girl. He goes, oh my God, I remember Glow. And that's how it started. And I brought him over and we're in the group and Roxy started talking and we all started talking to him. The next thing you know, we're doing a play. And that was great. But when you're going to do, you're going to hit continue, go to the page, vote, 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 confirm your email. Most importantly, go back into your email, confirm it so the vote counts. Otherwise, the vote doesn't count. So vote, vote,
right.
vote.
So I'm going to do that today awesome. Because I got the share on that. I just got to go and do it. So now that you described how to do it, that forces me to actually go and do it because I'm going to go do that. Can you vote as
awesome.
You want?
You can, unless you have another email or several emails. I voted twice because I have 2 emails. So that worked out okay. That was great.
Oh, so I can do that.
And it's a little slow.
Too.
So you have to have patience. Be patient with the opening of the pages because there's so many plays there. That's the other thing. There's just so many. And there we are. I'm like, wow, this is great. So we're winning most, I guess, we're up there with that's Newsies is one. Mm-hmm. And Hamilton, I think, right? I don't know exactly. I haven't checked it out in the last couple of days. Do you know, Justin?
I haven't where we're at either, but the 2 that you mentioned are the last 2 that I saw as well.
Okay. Yeah. So either way, I mean, we're honored, we're blessed, we're thankful for being considered and being in this wonderful lineup with all these great musicals. I mean, this is fantastic, you know. Hats off to everybody in the play. They did a fantastic job. We packed the house. It was a cute little theater, 1111. I wear it proudly on my wrist. Nice. I know you can't see it now because I'm holding the phone at the same time, but 1111 is very inspirational anyway to me. So when Roxy said we're going to be at the 1111, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. This is perfect.
In the heart of West Hollywood too. It was a great location.
Right?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Fantastic theater. I'm just hoping we win. I mean, sure, who doesn't want an award? But I want to win because I feel like if we win, maybe we'll get a sequel and we get to go back.
That's what we need to do.
What happens if you guys win? What do you think will happen?
Well, I think it's going to catapult a lot of things for us in general, you know, because the heartbreaking thing is Netflix Glow is off. Third season, they didn't even make it to the fourth season. Which is kind of like ours. We went to the fourth season though, and it ended, but for them, that was it, unfortunately, because of COVID. So now I think enough people know about us original girls that we're real, and we love the actresses for portraying us and bringing a great show to Netflix. I mean, I loved it. So I think this as AfterGlow musical is going to put us back out there even more, and for more projects, like Justin said. If we can get Christopher Carver on board again, we can bring it to Las Vegas, because that's what we were talking about at the end of this play. This is what we really wanted to take it on the road. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't that be awesome? You know?
Yeah, it would be so great.
Right? Yes. So, you know, vote so we can do that.
Hey, Justin, give your social media links.
The Justin Root Show at Instagram, the Justin Root Show on YouTube, Justin Root on Facebook, and I'm terrible on Twitter, but Justin W. Root on Twitter if anyone is interested.
Hey, Sunny.
And yeah, that's funny. I'm just like Justin. I go off and on Twitter. I don't like Twitter. I am not a Twitter girl. Nope. So you can find me. I just say Google me. You can find all my links, but I'm LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for the professional end of it in the showbiz end. And then Facebook, I love. I'm on Facebook. I'm under my real name, Patricia Summerland, on all these social medias. You can find me Instagram, you know, LinkedIn and Facebook mainly.
Justin, talk about how you started your show on YouTube. How did that come about?
You know, honestly, I was sitting at a diner with my friend, and he said to me, you know, in between like auditions and stuff like that, like, what do you really want to do? What do you really, really want to do? And I said, you know, I love talking to people, but I'm not like a late night stand-up comedian kind of talk show. I don't want a monologue or any stuff like that. I just thought, I just want to talk to people. And he said, so go get some cameras, start a show. I was like, nah, it doesn't work like that. He's like, why not? So I did. I went to Best Buy. I got 3 cameras, called a couple friends, a furniture company, apartment2b.com. I was like, I'm going to start a show. And they said, we'll send you a couch. And they did. It was pink. I couldn't believe when it showed up. It was hot pink. And I thought, I can't have a show on wait, yes, I can. So I was like, wait, I love this. And I have a YouTube friend who, his name's Tyler Oakley, and he was a big YouTuber. And I thought, why not ask him to see if he'll be on? And he said yes. And then I asked RuPaul, who I know and friendly with, and he said, sure, I'll do it. And they came over and I recorded our interviews. And then from there, I kind of just lured other people in, because once they saw like RuPaul on, they were like, oh, well, okay, this guy's not some crazy person who's going to lure me to his apartment and kill me. Like he must not be that crazy. So from there, I've just kind of built my guest list, and I was on a roll last March until COVID came. I had 7 people booked. 2 of them came over, and then I had to cancel the other 5 because we went into lockdown the next day. So just as I was kind of getting my groove and like kind of confident enough to keep going with it, it just kind of shut down. So I will pick it up. It'll continue again. I like to just think I'm on a little break, but I'm having a blast.
Good for you. And then Patricia, so as that talk show host, as that original Glow girl, as that person that's out there speaking her mind, how do you both this platform? What do you like this? Do you like it or no?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oops, I'm sorry. The dog is barking. You guys are going to hear that in the background. But yeah, go ahead again. I'm sorry.
Why do
Can
you
you hear
like the
me?
platform?
Well, I like the platform because, well, first of all, if we're talking about American Adversaries, that's Salem Broadcasting. You can't get any stronger than that. That reaches tons of millions of people. We're nationwide, international. So, and I am probably the only pro wrestler on that radio show, other than Brian Blair, which is on Fridays. Brian Blair, the Killer Bees,
Oh,
which
yeah.
he also was he's very big in the politics. And so, yeah, for when they asked me, I'm like, yeah, I'll do this. That's great. Absolutely. You know, I have a voice for California, and I can talk about anything I really choose. No cussing, you know, because they're also Christian,
Yeah.
of Christian values. So, you know, it keeps it very clean and crisp, which I love. CRN now, which is also different networks, as you know. When I went in, I was sitting there with Mike Horn and Bob. Oh my gosh, I can't. Bob started Kiss FM, Howard Stern, all those guys. And I'm sitting across from, I can't remember his last name. Forgive me, Bob. That's terrible. But another girlfriend of mine that's in radio, she's been on KLSX, KLOS, all the radio shows. She's like, you've got to do this. You have a voice. You have a great voice because you've been on all these shows. I started going on as a guest, and someone had just approached me and said, you should be a host. And I'm like, really? I never thought about it. So that's how that started. CRN, I went in and did my due diligence and said, I really would like to be a part of this a network. And he goes, can you go in studio? Are you going to be good live? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So I started, I had 7 shows like Justin in the bag. I had 7 interviews. And sadly enough, one of the interviews was Rick Drayson, which we lost this year, which is really sad. You know, he's a big legend, such a movement in our world, the creator of the Gold's Gym logo. So I was blessed to have him on my show twice. And not only that, he was very close. He was an ex-boyfriend of mine. So that one really hurt when he passed away this year. But I have that wonderful memory, you know, great guest. I had Roxy on, of course. We had a great time. I had an Australian singer on, very well known, Marty Roan. So, you know, I can't wait to get back into the studio and do more shows. But right now with this COVID, nothing's happening. You know, it's kind of quiet. It's really tough to do it from my home because, you know, I live in the internet, in the mountains, and the internet is like choppy, you know, and right now, you know, my daughter's dog is I love my dog, but it's my daughter's dog. So I can't even get out to approach my house. So I'm sitting in my car because he'll jump on me and attack me on my way. So that's why I couldn't make it to the house to do this show. So I'm like, I'm just going to pull over and sit and wait. And I've got a little bit of my neighbor's internet and mine, so it's working, which is good.
Well, you have better lighting than me, so it's working.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters at that point, because this is what it's all about. And I was telling Justin earlier before you came on, I'm on 240. Yeah, 240 since April 2nd. And I'll finish with, you know, the next, 18, 19 days at either 250 or 55. And, you know, that's 2 3s. Those days I was doing 5 shows on Zoom. However, had I had not done it, I wouldn't have gotten over the 1 million view mark for YouTube.
Right.
That was a good thing. And Justin,
that's amazing. That's congrats to that. That's great.
But I had the time to do it. And then I had all the girls, and it just made sense. And I'm like, oh, I saw this coming. I just didn't know the name of it. So why not do it? Why not get that jump? So we got the jump. So I'm glad that both of you guys have a voice. That's very, very important. Everybody has a story to tell. Not everybody gets a chance to tell it, obviously. But Justin, and how you started, that's how it starts. I remember when I went down to Adrenaline Radio in Whittier, and I did it out of this garage. And then so Roxy and Dan came down, and that's only 5 years ago. And then, but again, I never saw me going outside of Hollywood, going to, out of all places, Franklin, Tennessee, which is a red state.
Very,
yeah. Around all conservatives, Christians, and Trump supporters, and getting 4 million views. You couldn't have done that 2.5 years ago. I did not know that. So again, this is where the delicate balance comes in. So Patricia, AKA Sonny,
Exactly.
good for you, because it's about the viewership. I always tell people, I only go by views. I don't go by followers, because you can unfollow someone. I don't go by likes, because you can always unlike something 5 seconds later. And I don't go by subscribers, because you can subscribe to someone for a month and then unsubscribe. But I tell them you can't unview or view. And Justin, since you're on YouTube, you know views are really important. So you'll get a kick out of this. When I reached, because people are saying you don't have no subscribers. I'm like, I don't want subscribers. They will follow once they get the views. YouTube sent me a thing when I finally got to 1,000 subscribers. They congratulated me, and I'm like, yeah, but what about the 1.1 million views I have? What number is higher, 1,000 or 1.1? What would you go by, 1,000 subscribers or 1.1 million views?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're always re-educating people on how it really is, because Sonny, you know, to have all these people follow you, what it's like. You may not know if you're at a certain point who's unfollowing you, but if you're got 1 million and you dip underneath that million, you know people are dropping, and you're gonna fight to get back
Oh
to
yeah.
views.
Oh yeah. And it's a balance. It's a total balance. You have to, and you know what? Here's the thing, and I think we can all agree to this. We're not going to please every viewer. It's
Right.
impossible to, yeah. So, the way I look at it, if I have 3/4 of the people liking what I say, I'm good. I'm happy I did the right thing. But you're always going to have somebody that's going to complain, or someone that's not going to be for you. They're going to be against you. And you have to have thick skin in this business, just like being an actor. You're going to get those no's, those rejections, and that hate. You've got to go, okay, well, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm still going to be me, and I'm not going to change or sway what I truly believe in deep down. I'm not acting, I'm speaking, and I'm saying what I know to be factual, what I have to put on radio, especially with me, because it's very crucial. I'll get laughed at, just like Megyn Kelly even, did a few mistakes. So I've got to be very careful what I say and what I put out there too. It's a fine line. It is. And in everything that we do, it is. But what you guys do, I so appreciate. And I think, Brian, when you brought on the girls, what beautiful, that's a great decision to do that too. I watched the girls, beautiful. I'm like, all right, Brian, go. Because I remember when we were on your show the first time, we had one, and I'm friends with her now. She's so sweet. She's a good friend of yours.
Oh, Crystal Coney.
Yes, I love her, and I love her energy. She's the best. So sweet. But
Yes, she says hi.
views.
You guys are still motivating factor for her.
Yeah, she's great. She's awesome. And like Justin, he's such a motivational, intelligent, very amazing speaker, and his passion. I mean, I am enthralled when he puts on these Hollywood, when you were doing the tours. Oh my God, I'm right there up close and personal watching him. And he probably doesn't know that, but I love it.
That's so sweet, Brian. She's referring to, since we've been in lockdown, I haven't been able to interview anyone on my show. So I started doing these walking tours around various Los Angeles neighborhoods, kind of showing before and after architecture or film locations where movies.
Oh, that's very, very smart. It's like the Starline tours.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the Hollywood Reporter picked it up, and I've done 3 for them now. And I have some more in the works. So I'll be posting those on YouTube and Instagram. I have a bunch coming up. I'm very excited to share them. Patricia, you're gonna love them. They're really fun. I have a real old Hollywood one from the 1920s coming up next week. So I'm excited.
Oh, I'm gonna love it. I love it. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
And thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
We got about 4 minutes left. Justin, I think you should try Zoom or Skype. And the reason for that is it's gonna be hard to get back into the studio. Everything has changed. The reason our studio works, and Patricia, it's not the one that you went to. I was testing everything at LA Talk Radio then. We took it to the Mike House right off of Los Angeles and Franklin, where we're not closed down. Everything is brand new. I only have 5 people there. We have a nice open area. It's very nice and clean. People like it. And then because there's a lot of people that are still scared to go into a studio no matter what it is. It's a psyche on them. And I've talked to a lot of major people, and I've even had like Scott Payton from Pink Floyd come in, Kenny Arnoff, one of the best drummers in the world, John Cougar Mellencamp's a drummer. He's come in, he's part of what we're doing for Movie Reviews and More. I want to get the girls, I call the Glow Girls. I want to get your girls coming back sometime in January, coming to the studio, because they were there when I was testing everything 5 years and 2 years ago. And
Right.
I call it bringing back the band to see where we are, because I couldn't have done it without them. If they were good enough to come, Matilda came to Adrenaline Radio where we didn't have an elevator. We lifted her up in her wheelchair, and it's one of the best books I ever till this day. And I still talk about her book in honor of what she's created and how before she became a Glow Girl. It's always interesting.
Oh, wow.
That's a story to tell, and she's relevant and she's still alive. And I was just honored to have her on a show. She's part of all of this stuff. So again, my hat goes out to a lot of those people who helped us get here, because I tell the girls, you have no idea who came before you, but if you fail to pay homage to the past, there is no future.
There you go.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Justin, give your social media links one more time.
I'm the Justin Root Show on Instagram, the Justin Root Show on YouTube, Justin Root on Facebook, and Justin W. Root on Twitter.
There we are.
And Patricia, go ahead one more time. Social media.
Patricia Summerland on Facebook, Patricia Summerland Instagram, Sunny Glow on Twitter when I'm on. I don't really care for it. LinkedIn, Patricia Summerland, and you can go to AmericanAdversaries.com. Open the link. You can. I'm on Sirius, iHeart, CRN. I'm on every network once I'm back in, which will be January, February. So, and also don't forget. I know, and you might catch me on TikTok, but probably Christmas after a few glasses of wine.
Yeah, I saw the wine one. Who was the girl dancing with you? Was that your daughter or who?
That's my younger daughter. Yes.
I thought it was hilarious. People
Right?
people need anything to laugh to these days. That's why I thought it was great.
Absolutely. And that's the truth, because there's so much sadness and, wearing these masks, it's so difficult. You can't even see people when they're smiling at you. You just feel the energy, and you just want to reach out to people and hug them, but you can't. You can't even do that,
I can see you smiling through your mask, Sunny. Everyone can see you through your mask. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy, my cheeks were hurting, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm smiling. I go, but nobody can tell, but I can't wait for this to get passed, and I want to say one thing with Matilda, because you brought it up, and I want to say prayers. So we all need to say a prayer for Matilda, because she's been in that hospital over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And, she is an inspiration. She was an original Glow Girl, one of the first that mastered the craft. She wrestled a bear, for Christ's sake. You can't get any bigger than that. So yeah, we love Matilda, and we pray for her every day. I know I tried to speak to her.
Someone is going to do a documentary or a movie or a series on her. It's just a matter of,
absolutely,
not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of which, I've got a book coming out too, and a movie. It'll either go to Lifetime or Reels, but I have a comic book, which is, I'm the first female pro wrestler by Squared Circle to have my life story in a comic book. So that's out now too. So reach out to me. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So a lot of good things are happening, and I thank all my fans. I thank my friends, my family, because without any of them, we wouldn't have this. And it goes back to that. Our viewers, our listeners, we love you and thank you, so much. And for loving Glow for 35 years, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself promoting it this long, you and Tracy?
No, we look back, we're like, I can't believe this, and we have so many followers to this day. For so long, we're like, this is 35 years. How in the heck does that happen?
And so
it is
loyal too.
It's big, right? I know. So it's a cult, it's a cult following. I guess we are, it's pretty cool. And like I said, we're blessed. And without you guys, I love you, Justin. You know that. I love you. You played the best David Mclane, and I'm so sad he actually wasn't there to see it, because he would have appreciated it, and I sure hope he does. I'm trying to get him on, and so we can do a dual thing, and talk about it. But he's pretty hard to get a hold of.
I'd love to meet him. It's an honor.
Right? Yeah, we'll get him on. I've got Matt Simbers on a couple shows, so we might bring Matt on, Brian, and do another one. I'd like to get his view. He was there, and that was what's surreal, is that here's the man that brought us together, that made Glow. I like to say he was the creator, even though David Mclane started it. Yeah. Matt Simber was the mastermind, and there he is in the front row watching us. And wasn't that cool? And he had,
it was so cool. And I had his ex on my show before I ever even knew him, Pia Zadora. Remember her?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
She was a guest on my show, and then a couple of years later, Matt, it's a small world in show business. It's a tiny, tiny world, and I love when we all overlap and connect. It's really fun.
Right. So Pia Zadora was married to Meshulam Riklis, who was Israeli, and he owned Glow. He owned Fabergé and Fabergé Brut, and the hair shampoo, all that kind of stuff. Rest in peace. He's passed on since, but Pia Zadora now is in Vegas, I understand, and doing a lounge show or whatnot. Yeah, she's doing all sorts of things. She looks great.
Well, with that, I'm going to end this. We got about 20 seconds. I'm going to say this. Thank you for everybody from coming on. If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, like Patricia's, because she's got a great smile, because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.